Hello students, I am going to explain how to create a ledger account in Microsoft Excel. So first of all, we need to create Performa, and before creating Performa, that we need to change the name of the sheet 1 to ledger account like this here. So once we have changed the name, then we can see that we have these columns, and now I am going to expand all these columns and selecting some of the rows from 1 to 9, and with the help of this border, putting the all border and selecting the first row, all these 4 cells, and here this is the button merge and center. When I click on this, all these 4 cells will be merged. I'm just filling this color with the yellow color and writing here cash account and making it bold. Control B or press on B. Here I'm going to write particulars, amount, and again particulars and amount. I'm just copying and paste over here and making all these 4 bold. For example, that I'm going to write here 100, and here I'm going to write here 150. For example, that we received this money from someone, like just take an example of a pocket money from, I have received this cash from Papa and received money from Mom, just like a pocket money that you might have received all these two, and during the month you spend some of the money. During the month that you have spent some of the money somewhere, let's say chocolate, and you watch movies and maybe other expenditures. So now let's say that you spend on chocolates $20, and on movie that you went with your friends $40. Then other expenditure, let's say for example $50 or maybe $60, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a total of all these 2 items, debit and credit side. Left side is known as a debit and this is known as a credit. 250 is the total, right total here, and also write total here. And what you can do now, make it bold, control B. Here 250 minus 120, if I write it here, let's say 250 minus 120, it is 130. I need to write here 130 this time, and I'm going to write it here by balance, carry it forward. Okay, so now 130 that I'm just putting it in green color, filling within green color. If I change this figure from 100 to 200, this is going to change, but this is not going to change, because the reason is that this is that we have put manually. So what I want, I don't want to do this manually. I want it should be automatically come. So I put a equal to sign over here. Then sum of all the debit figures over here from here to here, bracket close, minus sum of, I need to select with the help of mouse the range on the credit side and press enter. 230 is coming automatically. If I'm just going to change some of the figures, let's say instead of 30 60, I'm just going to write 75. Figure is going to change. Here I'm going to write here $600, and this is going to change, right? So this is cash is a debit balance. We know some of the account have by default the debit balance, some of the accounts have credit balance. We know we have assets, maybe current assets or fixed assets, always have a debit balance. What is the meaning of debit balance? Debit balance means that when the debit side is more, credit side is less, there will be a balance is called debit balance. Assets, this is the assets, we have a debit balance. Okay, now if we talk about expenditure, all expenditure have debit balance. Now if we talk about liabilities, all liabilities have credit balance. All liabilities have credit balance. If I talk about the income, all income have credit balance. If I talk about the equity, equity means sometimes we say capital. So capital means the owner capital. It belongs to the owner of the company. Always have credit balance. So these are the important points that you need to remember. You need to write somewhere. Once you will remember this one, write somewhere, it will be really, really very good for you. And you will be able to remember all the things and interpret and verify whether you're doing right or wrong. So this was all about how to create the ledger account pro forma. So what I'm going to do, look at this. I'm just going to copy and paste over here on the right side of this. And here I'm just going to delete all these figures I have deleted. Now this is the empty pro forma that you need to have. I'm repeating once again. This is the empty pro forma you need to have. Let's say that you are going to create one more. You need one more ledger account. Copy, select this one, copy and paste over here. Then instead of cash, just write bank. This is shortcut. No need to create everything once again and again, right? So everything is here for bank. Let's say that you have a laptop or any assets. Just rename to furniture, or if you have laptop, you can write laptop. So whatever the figures that you will write in future according as per the journal entries, then automatically that you will find the balance is automatically coming, right? So this is the beauty of Microsoft Excel. One more thing that I'm going to share with you, that is, let's say you have some of the account which have credit balance. So this is cash is by default, we know the assets have a debit balance, bank assets debit balance, furniture assets debit balance. If we have some expenditure, no doubt for the expenditure that you will copy paste here. Let's say you're copying and paste here, and salary is expenditure. So salary will be having debit balance because of this. Now we have some liabilities. Let's say we have some short-term loan. So what I'm going to do in this case, we know that is a credit balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy paste. I'm just going to copy paste here. Okay, so I have just remain one column empty just to differentiate this one. So amount is here, particulars are here. I'm just going to delete this one. I no need to fill this green color because that we know this is the liability. If we talk about the liability, let's say long-term or short-term loan. If we talk about the long-term loan, right? So long-term loan that we are having here, so that will be related to let's say the loan we have taken from the bank. So here the transaction will be the bank has given loan by bank. Let's say $20,000, and here that the balance will be here to balance carry forward. Here what I'm going to do, the same thing that I did for this one, same thing that I'm doing once again, but on the opposite side, sum of all the figures on the credit side first minus sum of all the figures on the debit side, and this will be the credit balance. This will be the credit balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click it here and fill with the green color so that you should be able to understand about the credit balance ledger account. So we have assets, we done expenses that can be done over here, just like a salary account. Liabilities that we have done it here because of the credit account. Income, if we have, for example, revenue, what you will do? What you will do? First of all, delete all these figures, but not the formula. You are not going to delete this formula. I'm just going to copy and paste once again. And here I'm just going to write here income, let's say revenue. Let's say revenue. So here I'm going to write revenue. So we know that the revenue is also credit balance. So revenue for the journal entry, you may be having some journal entry in which you have received revenue. Then cash, if they say the cash that you have received, then cash account debit to revenue. So let's say $500 or $5,000, automatically it is coming. Look at this, 5,000 total is coming, the balance is also coming. If you delete this one, it will go. So this is the beauty of Microsoft Excel that I explained, and very, very useful. Same is for the equity. Equity is a capital count, right? Just like a revenue, you can write here capital account. Let's say ages capital account, and the same thing that you can do it here. So this was all about how to create ledger account pro forma in Microsoft Excel, and with the auto sum on the both inside debit and credit side, along with the balances that will come automatically.